Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more relaxing, well, hopefully, relaxing Warhammer 2 End Times, and, well, this isn't where we left off, is it? The issue at hand being, I did fight the siege at Fort Ostrog and the one over here, and initially my plan was to sort of, see if fighting the battle on the campaign, fighting the battle properly on the map is any fun, and do a sort of commentary over the replay, because that will be a lot more sensible and a lot easier to do. So I fought the battle, and it was just not that very interesting. Battle over in the other settlement, and it was even more boring. Essentially, although Archeon did get 500 kills, other than like that's the only somewhat noteworthy piece of information from the battle itself. And I realise I've been fighting the Empire way too much recently, that yeah, it's just frustrating a little bit and kind of boring. So I would rather I think I would rather focus on maybe getting to the city of Prague now and doing the final quest for Archeon, and then, you know, only then, maybe, look towards ending both the series and the lives of all those who would oppose me. Jokes aside, of course, we are doing relatively well, and we're just ever so near the tipping point of, you know, all of a sudden we're way too powerful. We're just sort of, I guess, on that ledge, and, well, I guess we'll see where we land at by the end of it all. But I need a siege attacker in Archeon's army. I've realised that that I haven't put in a siege attacker in his army, and that's kind of a big deal. But also, I suppose that could be a hell cannon. Yeah, that I will put that in. But also, I haven't actually recorded that much between now and the previous episode. Actually, not at all, for about a week or so. I think almost 2 weeks. I had some backlog videos, actually. It's been like over 2 weeks since I've recorded anything. So I'm slowly starting to get back into the swing of things, I suppose. But it's been really hectic, because the university's been a massive thorn in everyone's side recently, or everyone attending it, that is, because they've just, in some outrageous, someone had this outrageous idea that what they should do is give us like 3 times the amount of work we usually get done during quarantine, because apparently we have more time now or something. That is just, I mean, it's been day in, day out, like for 6 to 8 hours of sitting on the computer doing stuff for uni, whether it's listening to lectures, writing papers, or you know, anything along those lines. And it's been pretty stressful, but I did really well, and I'm kind of proud, to be honest, because it's sort of like a new thing for everyone, and it's good to, it feels good to excel at new circumstances like that, I suppose. At least I think I did relatively well. Anyways, let's get back into this and see what we can do with Archeon and this entire Chaos thing. Now, I realise that Warhammer isn't the most popular thing. It's a pretty niche game, and furthermore, this style of content isn't exactly for everyone, so I thought about moving on to a different game, but still doing the sort of late night whispering, thing you can fall asleep to, essentially. And I think it's an okay idea, not for everyone, like I said, but honestly, I enjoy making them, and who knows, we're here to experiment with content, but more than anything, I think I want to get back into the swing of things when it comes to making videos, and try and get back making one each day, and perhaps when uni finishes in a few weeks, go back to those older Let's Plays of, I've even forgotten the names, I'm kidding of course, of Divinity 2 and what it is, the RPG with Buzz's Fallout New Vegas. But on the name. Oh well. Never mind. On the other hand, even though I couldn't record videos, I did watch a fair amount of content from people over the course of the 2 weeks, and I've learned a million things about Warhammer 2, a little bit about YouTube and the algorithm, but most people don't care about that. So from 21 we went to 21, very useful, thank you CA. Alright, let's go on this, don't need you two there, you're going to be the breaching force I suppose. Okay, start the battle, and there's pretty much just one way of assaulting like this when you can't cheese the AI, and that is just a straight up sprint to the walls. It's important to get Archeon closer as well though. Alright, let's go. A lot of activated towers, but oh well, there is a more efficient way of doing this, but you will see soon that the plethora of buffs that Archeon provides to his chosen are more than enough to deal with any of that, and it's going in the wrong direction. Or maybe in the right direction if it goes on for long enough. Yeah, I don't really like the Outriders, so... Interesting, yeah, that's okay. Could have been better, but that's okay. Let's put down the burning head thing as well. And one thing I've learned semi-recently, you can actually cast that on the walls. One of the rare spells that you can, but some spells you actually can cast on the walls. And they do a fairly decent bit of damage. So that's like 130 kills on Archeon already, and seeing this, I think it's not surprising necessarily that he got some like 500 or 400 something in that other battle, but like I said, it just wasn't very interesting, and it basically went exactly the same as this battle, except due to the way the settlement was made, it was like a corner of the wall, so it was even easier to hop over, and the only real unit that presented any form of a challenge was the steam tank, and that got taken out relatively easily by Chosen with great weapons and Archeon personally, so really what I'm saying is that the siege, even though it looked kind of challenging on the campaign map, once you actually start playing it, you realise that it is just very easy. Let's put down another blazing something and hit absolutely no one with it. We're going to hit a few outriders, I suppose. Okay, we're going to hit more than a few outriders with it. That was nice. Actually getting to the cannons alright. That is amusing.
Kill them all! Time to despoil! Charge them!
I was going to use this, but no, let's, or should we even use a blazing sun? Honestly, no. There's no need for this. Let's buff up everything else, and, let's put down the fiery thing.
Give us ruin! Lord of the End Times!
Yeah, there we go.
Chosen! Chaos Knights! Slay every mortal! Chosen!
I mean, like I said, the armor on these guys makes it so that any infantry that the Empire can throw at us doesn't stand a chance, basically. This is pretty much the weakest unit in the army, and it's going to get replaced soon. Right after the battle, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. An Archeon does relatively good. I think this is the second time I'm fighting Boris Stodbringer in a handful of turns, and that is somewhat worrying, but that's okay, I suppose. Anyways, I do tell a lie a little bit when I say that I haven't played much since the last episode. That's kind of true, but since the episode prior to that one, a lot of this was recorded as a backlog. Something like 2 weeks ago, I think. It's not that much of a time difference, it just sounds like there's a month between episodes, and yeah, in reality, I think this is the longest break I've had to take in years, basically. I'm not happy about it, obviously, but, you know, it is how it is. I'm just hoping I can get back into the swing of things. Actually, I know I can get back into the swing of things relatively easily, from like the next few days, so quite excited about that. But like I said, I did play in between like episodes previously, and I did learn quite a lot, and especially from watching other people. I did learn quite a lot about the game, and about my unit compositions, about some exploits, some glitches, some cheesy ways of doing things, what to expect when fight 2 to 3 episode has doubled, if not, yes, I think that's fair, so it's about doubled. And I've also played. Yeah, I've been learning, and I've been getting better at the actual game. So we're gonna loot and raise, and I'm never. See, I like this mod, the 2 points per level up thing, but it kind of makes Legendary Lords a little bit useless, which I didn't really pay that much attention to previously. But the thing with Legendary Lords is that they have all of these abilities, right? But if you give so many points to everyone, a lot of those abilities lose meaning, and you actually put yourself at a disadvantage because the player levels his character up and his well, everything up a lot more quicker than the AI does. So it's not uncommon at all to have a level 30 Lord, Legendary Lord, that goes into battle against like a level 4, 5 or 6 enemy Legendary Lord. Reason being, enemy or AI Lords tend to get wounded a lot more often, and other than that, they also just don't take as many fights, and they don't level properly most of the time. They put points into stupid things that they don't need and that they shouldn't, that are completely useless to their armies or the campaign map in general and the situation in it. So you actually put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage like that, but for this campaign specifically, I think that was a good choice to include that mod, because I did want it to be a bit quicker and for this campaign to end, you know, not super quickly, but within, let's say, a dozen or so, 2 dozen or so episodes, and I think that's what I'm roughly gunning for still. But the one thing I really don't like about Chaos is their economy, or rather the lack thereof. And I think that's the main driving force behind me going, alright, let's wrap this up soon. Because no matter how much you build, or what exactly you build, it's always going to be like you're in the negative, and it's not entirely a problem of difficulty, or it's not really a problem of difficulty at all, because what you end up doing is accumulating so much money that it doesn't matter that you're losing money per turn. But at the same time, it would be really great if you didn't have to do that, and that the amount of money you got to something like Nakai the Wanderer and how he's done the game. Now, the way Nakai works, for those of you that don't know or don't own the DLC, every time he conquers a settlement, he gives it to his vassal, and it's a fixed vassal that you cannot attack or go to war against. And the vassal cannot build armies of its own, but it does have a pretty good garrison within the settlements, and they never construct anything, so they're like a placeholder faction kind of thing. Or maybe that gives you the wrong idea, not really placeholder, but they're sort of like a sub-faction, if you will, that doesn't really exist in the game like all the others do. I don't know how much sense I'm making, but yeah, that's the TLDR of it, I suppose. And it's really good because essentially what you're doing is you're playing as a horde that doesn't have settlements, but you are getting all of the benefits of actually having settlements, like a stable income, like territory that you've secured, so on and so forth, but you are playing as a horde. So obviously the balancing factor sort of there is that Nakai's economy is utterly hopeless compared to settled factions, but it is infinitely better than the Chaos economy, you know, despite all of that. So yeah, Nakai the Wanderer, great campaign. People have been saying a lot of bad things about it, that it's kind of like boring and that they, you know, don't like it. And yeah, I understand the sentiment there, but in that case, you wouldn't like Chaos either, or you wouldn't like Horde campaigns in general, because you know they're the same, but they're just done, in my opinion, slightly worsely, or slightly more worse. I'm sorry, but yeah. Anyways. Be that as it may, that's Nakai the Wanderer for you. Now, I think what I'm going to do now is actually teleport. Am I? Yeah, I think so, because I don't need any of these buildings. Other than maybe... Okay, so these units are horrible, never recruit them. This isn't the worst. Giants are also horrible, you should never recruit them. Horde recruitment capacity... That's not terrible. Arcane Vortex is kinda not terrible. Yeah, I think we'll think about it later, but for now I want to do the quest battle in the same episode, I think. And it's gonna be a pretty easy quest battle. It's again another agent of the Lord of Change. I don't think we're gonna be having any real problems with this. Though he does men hey, yeah, that's gonna be a bit tough then.
Even as this demon spawn plots to overthrow me, I know my destiny is absolute. Balakor will coronate me. Come then, Changer. Bring your best. I will prove once more that I am the ever chosen. For I am the anointed, the bringer of woes, the one true Lord of Chaos.
Yeah, if you maybe took off the mask and weren't so angry all the time, maybe, just maybe, your troops would actually understand you at some point in time. But who am I to say anything? Now this is Warhounds, and this is Chaos Trolls. I'm going to put cavalry on this end, beat these guys, and then go around and get probably the Lord of Change himself. Yeah, I reckon that's what I'm going to do, but the rest is going to stay like this. And actually, I'm going to let him come to me. Mostly because of the Hell Cannon, which, to be completely honest with you, is not probably, is definitely the single worst artillery piece in the game currently. Now, you might remember that I actually didn't think so previously, but I have been shown the light, as it were, and I've seen the truth, and it is not pretty. But it is what it is. And the truth, unfortunately, is that it is a hopelessly bad artillery piece. Anything else that yeah, those pretty terrible units. Anything else that the Empire can field, that the Dwarves can field, that I don't know, like the Bretonnians can field, like their trebuchets. That was a complete miss. That's okay. It is just way better than the Chaos artillery on its roster, but it's not that big of an issue. Like, it's most of the time you don't need the artillery for, I suppose I can call it, its primary purpose. Instead, you want artillery for its campaign map usages, and that is that it will allow you to attack settlements at the very beginning, or immediately, pretty much, right? So without having to wait to build siege equipment. That's the most important aspect of artillery, and that's what you use it for, as chaos. So obviously it would be nice to have better artillery in the battles, and to have it perform its more traditional role, at least a little bit more admirably, but you know, alas, it is what it is. Oh. You have darkest magics as well, do you? The enemy lord is dead, which pretty much means that they're gonna be routing any minute now. Now this Chaos Knights unit did a phenomenal job of tying down 3 Marauders, and we have to reward that with oh yeah, and now get out of there before this hits you, and yeah, that's now a slightly more respectable number of kills. If you didn't know, AI can dodge even unshattered. It's a little bit silly, but it is what it is, and it's super easy victory. Barely any casualties, 15 casualties. That is shameful for the Lord of Change. That is just absolutely stupidly shameful. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Not much we can do about that. I think I probably will. They don't like, and I think this could be a topic for the next. I don't mind difficult games and challenges on any level. Most of the time when playing RPGs or strategy games and stuff like that, but especially RPGs, I tend to pick the highest difficulty. I was just looking at how much money I've made through the thing. Yeah, I'll sacrifice some plenty of replenishment. All I need is money. So I suddenly realise how that sounds, but it's true. So that's level 40 for Archeon, and what are we going to get? I suppose we could... I think here would be a sound investment, and maybe a bit more armor. Yeah, that's Archeon though. Is he going to continue to get more levels? Maybe. I don't actually remember with this mod whether it caps at 40 or it actually gives more levels. Because if it gives more, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, in the vanilla game, it would have been capped at 40. But what was I going with this? Ah, yes, difficulty. So I kind of have a problem with the way difficulty is done with Total War nowadays, because on one hand, and I do want to stress this out, or point this out, the AI in Total War is actually really good compared to AI in other games. But I really think that should be a topic for the next video, as we are approaching a time when it would be relatively advisable to end the video. Except I can get free Dragon Ogres. Yeah, I can get totally free Dragon Ogres. I mean, Dragon Ogre Shaggoths would be great. And I think I'm going to get some Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, but mostly it's going to be Dragon Ogres because they're completely free. Yeah, anyways, that's a topic for next video about the difficulty in the game and how the AI is good, but not really. Yeah, it's fine, but you know, I don't like the way difficulty basically increases just by giving the AI more cheats. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth later. Anyways, until next time, I bid you all farewell. Have fun, take care, and bye-bye.